it's all a matter of selling your strengths. And kayo, being again digital natives, you have a very unique voice.
Hello, supers! Welcome back to Paano Ba To? I've been reading your letters and your messages, and I learned from your stories that a lot of the anxiety and frustration in this pandemic has been caused by searching for a job, diba? And understandably so. And so, for today, our topic is job hunting in lockdown. And I invited online educator Coach Lyqa Maravilla to answer your questions, and she gave really valuable advice on how to help you get hired. Hello, welcome to Paano Ba To? Coach Lyqa Maravilla.
Hi! And hi, supers! My fellow supers.
Thank you so much, Coach Lyqa. I'm so excited to finally have you on Paano Ba To? I've been wanting to invite you, and finally, I guess now is the perfect time because for the whole of April, I guess the issue that I'm tackling is pandemic anxiety, which is what all of us have been feeling, but sort of different facets of it. And I got different letters, messages about the anxiety being caused by career problems, which is your expertise. Okay, so before we go into it, for everyone watching, you are of course an online educator, you're a motivational speaker, you're an author, and in your name, you have RPM at the end. What is RPM?
It means registered psychometrician kasi required na rin everyone who finishes a degree in psychology to take yung licensure exam.
I love it. So your expertise, kumbaga, in giving tips on education and educating, meron ding psych background talaga.
I try my best to integrate whatever I learned when it comes to the psychology of learning para just to make sure that people can learn as much as they could dun sa limited na amount of time that they spend with me. Sa TikTok videos especially kasi 1 to 3 minutes lang siya. And sa career side din, kasi I guess being in the field ng psychology, alam natin some of us end up sa HR. So merong konting background din ako doon. So I get to experience how it is dun sa other side ng table, as we say.
I'm so excited to get into these questions because these are questions that I feel maraming nakaka-experience ngayon that adds nga to the already crazy pressure and overwhelming feelings because of the pandemic. Okay, let's get right to it. From Julian Antoinette, do you think it's still possible for graduates from virtual learning to still be compensated or treated properly despite finishing their courses online?
Okay, ang hirap magbigay ng blanket answer na yes, everything will be easy for you kasi we know that the reality of the situation is there are people na nag-graduate na 5 years before, 10 years before even, na wala pa ring job opportunity. Like that's just how dire the situation is. And of course, with the pandemic din, companies closing down, alam nyo na nagsiskip ng belt lahat. So talagang aminado tayo na may limited na opportunities for everyone. However, I'm not a fan kasi of dwelling on the statistics or dwelling on the fact nga na probably you will have a hard time. I tell my students this all the time. You have to look at things as a now, parang realization of what things are right now, and then ask yourself the next question, which is now what? Now what should I do about it? When it comes to looking for a job, honestly, what we have to do is just to give ourselves the best shot possible. Ibig sabihin, yun na our responsibility ends there. Hindi ko pwedeng sabihin na, ito yung step-by-step process and then sure ka na in. Kasi that really doesn't work out that way. But what I could say would be the people who graduated in the middle of a pandemic, meron kayong edge when it comes to technology. And this is a very real na situation right now. A lot of, sabihin natin, boomers or the older generation, nag-early retirement pa last year, yung iba nag-quit na rin ng job simply because hindi sila makapag-adjust to the current work conditions. Kasi marami ang work from home. Hindi sila techie. Kayo, who are digital natives, you have that edge over them. So we have to see this as, again, okay, ito yung selling point ko. Because savvy ako, sanay ako na nag-virtual events kami. Ibig sabihin, this is something that I can bring sa table na wala yung people who have more experience. Now, the question na here would be, how do I present that? Nakitang-kita siya agad ng hiring manager. Ibig sabihin, we have to make sure na, okay, may portfolio ba ako? Yung resume ko, does it scream na magaling ako sa digital? Kasi if you're going to just present a resume na, di ba, in black and white, same as everyone else, hindi makikita yun agad sa'yo. So it's all a matter of selling your strengths. And kayo, being again digital natives, you have a very unique voice when it comes to this. Build your own website, build your own blog, have an online presence. Kasi yun ang question Googleable ka ba? Which is a lot of yung mga, again, mga middle-aged people or even millennials, minsan wala silang ganun wala silang digital presence So kung ako yung hiring manager looking at 2 resumes, ginugol ko yung isa, wala siyang online presence, pero ikaw, bibo ka, diba? Ang dami mong involvements, nag-host ka ng mga events for non-profit organizations, as in active ka online, ay nakikita ko, okay, pwede kong ipasa sa kanya yung susunod na training ng HR namin. So of course, meron kang edge. So again, it's all about that. There is hope for you, I would say, but it's all a matter of patience then, perseverance when it comes to looking for a job, and making sure that you know how to present yourself sa best light. This is something that problema na noon, nung hindi pa online ang lahat, pero ngayon dahil nga sanay kayo, mas may edge kayo dyan, and kaya nyo yan. I believe in you.
I love it. I love the tips, and you're so right, because when I graduated, hindi pa talaga masyadong digital and our resumes were normal resumes, but now people can be as creative as they can be with their resumes, even if hindi creative industry yung pinapasok nila, diba? Final question, this is from Ocean. This is a very, very common question. So Ocean is in a job right now na okay daw talaga ang culture. It's very Gen Z and millennial friendly. So the question is it wise to give up mental and emotional sanity for career and a better salary? How do we weigh these options, especially during the time of the pandemic?
I think alam niyo na yung sagot sa question niya, sa pagkaka-phrase niya ng question. One of the most important skills na I learned sa study of psychology is that we were never meant to answer questions or to fix other people's lives. We just kind of lead them towards decisions that they already made. Pero if you want a bit of peace of mind, sabihin na natin, minsan yung magtatanong sa atin, naghahanap din talaga ng kakampi. Basta kung paano natin ito pipiliin. One thing na I loved saying since last year is this: you have to stay safe, stay sane before you stay productive. So yun yung ranking. Hindi pwedeng pagbalik-balik na rin yan. But, okay, alam din natin again, the reality of the situation is, ito yung time for us to be a bit wiser then when it comes to resource management. Of course, it's fun to be in a company na supported ka emotionally, you have your friends with you, it's very comfortable. And for millennials and especially Gen Z, hinahanap nila yun Kailangan may community, kailangan may impact, may social cause yung company. So I get how that could be feeding sa soul. However, okay, mayroon ding wisdom in choosing yung mas malaki ang sweldo. But you have to be honest with yourself dun sa process that led you to that decision. Now, you know that this is going to be a temporary situation simply because I need the money. Kasi yun ang realidad ng buhay. Again, there's a distinction between a job and a career. Like, this is a job for me kasi I need to save up. I did that when I was younger. So I went into a job that I didn't really like. Pero kasi nag-ipon ako for law school. So sabi ko, sige, I'll give this company 2 years of my life para lang makaipon ako. Nung I thought I had enough, I quit. Pero again, the intent was very clear. Yun yung ginagawa ko motivation sa sarili ko kapag tinatamad na ako or kapag I feel discouraged sa work. This is a temporary situation. Pag nakaipon ka na, okay na rin. It was also easy for me to give up a lot of yung mga luxury na afforded sa young professionals. Kasi iniisip ko lagi, bibili ba ako ng mamahaling kape or mamahaling sapatos or ilalagay ko na lang towards my fund? Ay, naku, isasave ko na lang yung money ko. Kasi I really wanted this to be just maximum 2 years lang talaga ng buhay ko. So we can also think about it that way. Pero may mga tao who can't afford to do that. And I understand. Kasi merong feeling na parang ang soul crushing nung pupunta ka sa isang corporation na you know na hindi naman sila tumutulong or na hindi naman ito talaga yung perfect fit sa'yo. So it really is something that depends dun sa threshold mo as a person. If you can separate that as a money-making scheme, parang ganun lang for you, a temporary situation so it can give you wings to fly and pursue your passion, then maybe you can give part of your life dun sa endeavor na yun. But if you think na hindi mo siya kakayanin, if yung idea na you're selling out or you gave up your friends for this or you gave up a cause for this is something that you can't live with, then you better stay dun na lang dun sa job that you're happy in. Ganun lang talaga I think one of the myths that we have to really break is the idea na we can have it all. There are people who seem like they have it all and they have it all together, pero hindi laging ganun. And it's not bad naman to endure a season of your life just so it can set you up for future success. Wala akong direktang sagot kasi again, I think alam mo na yung sagot mo. But I hope this helps everyone else.
I mean, this is not my problem, but I was just like saying yes, nodding the whole time you were answering. I could super relate and I see so much wisdom in it. And tama yung term na sinabi mo yung threshold. I think ang key dito sa question na parang practicality or passion di ba? Usually yan ang question na yan. Is ano ba ba yung kaya mo? And I think, isa pang crucial dyan, and let me know if you feel the same way, we shouldn't judge ourselves for whichever choice we make, di ba? If you choose the money, wag mo i-judge yung sarili mo. At kung pinili mo yung mas passion mo, na mas quote-unquote madali, kasi technically hindi naman talaga din siya madali, it's a job. Don't judge yourself as well. I think that's another thing.
Yes. I think yung guilt kasi, yung aspect lang ng guilt. On one side, you have yung guilt. Yun nga yun, kasi I'm selling out, I'm doing this for the money. Pero again, if you're forward-facing naman, you're looking at the future, na this will enable me to do something else. This will enable me to sponsor children. Kasi ganun yung idea ko din eh. Parang, okay, stay ako sa corporate job na to, I don't like it, pero I'm sending kids sa World Vision to school. So okay, eto na yung parang ambag ko habang nandito ako, plus the fact na nagsisave up ako. So that could be something that you can talk yourself into. But dun sa other side, ang problema naman is FOMO. Kasi again, without resources, di ba? Hindi ka makapag-travel with your friends, hindi ka makapag-splurge on items. Pero at the end of the day, yun nga, you just have to be honest with yourself. Talk to yourself then, walk yourself through the entire process. What really matters to you? And I guess the answer to that question is different for everyone.
For sure, it's different for everyone, and you should, I guess, honor kung ano yung para sa'yo talaga. Thank you so much, Coach Lyqa. I really appreciate your super concise, super helpful, and super busog advice for everyone. So again, thank you, Lyqa.
Thank you.
Super, super helpful. Thank you, Coach Lyqa. And if nabitin pa kayo, as always, the full conversation will be up on Paano Ba To, the podcast, Monday nights at 11. And she actually answers 2 more questions in that conversation about negotiating salary and the most common mistakes that applicants do. And she gives great advice. Thank you so much, Coach Lyqa. She does have her own YouTube channel as well. Please do follow that. And speaking of the podcast, I'm so happy to share that Paano Ba To, the podcast is now a Spotify exclusive. Woohoo! That means you can listen and follow to the podcast exclusively and only on Spotify. That's for free. And a lot of people think Spotify is pang music lang. No, actually it's for podcasts. And so please do head on over to Spotify and follow Paano Ba To, the podcast. Okay, I asked you guys in my video last week to share your tips in case you did get hired this past year, diba? Hiring or searching for a job in quarantine. And I want to read 2 answers. The first is from Jamie Albos. Sabi niya, she got a full-time job during the pandemic, which she didn't expect. But she said, I think what helped me is evaluating myself, what I'm really good at, and slowly looking for ways to enhance those skills through free courses, webinars, classes online while expanding my network. LinkedIn and Facebook are the best way to do that. And I also would say that letting people know what you can do helps them think of you once they hear of an opening or a business opportunity. I do agree. Sometimes you just have to really say what you can do para those people will keep you in mind in the future. And the other tip is from Jazz Kaiser Tomarong. This is a super helpful tip. Sabi niya, if you want to apply, documents are a must. Super hirap kumuha ng mga documents, especially sa province. So, better gather all your documents before applying and get 3 or more copies na agad. I super agree with this. Hindi madaling kumuha ng documents, lalo na at a time like this. And so when you do try to get multiple copies para hindi kayo paulit-ulit dun sa process. That's it for our episode. Thank you so much, Supers, for joining me. And next week is the last episode for April. And as promised, I have a clinical psychologist to help us sort through our feelings of anxiety. And she takes us through a very, very helpful practice that we can all do when we feel overwhelmed. So, till then, please stay safe and well, Supers.